Hi, this is Shirish Kulkarni, founder and CEO of Stroth Consultech. Been running this company for last 6 years, helping small and medium businesses to grow. In this initiative called as Hatke, we are talking to various individuals, various leaders, various industry specialists, and understanding their way of looking at the things, the challenges, maybe the pandemic as we have seen it through, in a different way, in a Hatke way. And we have a great honors to have somebody who is having done two post graduations, having done her PhD, and totally having around 7 degrees with her. Great to have you, Dr. Shruti Nigudkar, with us. Shruti ji, great to have you on this platform.
Thank you so much, Shirish ji, for inviting me. It's both my pleasure and privilege to be here because I am aware of the great personalities that you have invited on this platform, and people like Dr. Anand Nadkarni and many industrialists and leaders in the business. And it is indeed my pleasure to be here and great opportunity. Thank you.
Superb, and you are running right now a show where you are a head of MIT WPU School of Fine Arts. So great. I think it's a great achievement, leading from the front. Uh, and I was just thinking, so you must have spent maybe more than 15, 16 years just in education, right? To get this all these degrees, right?
Yes, it has been a continuous learning, and that is something that I really enjoy. I mean, when I was in school, going to school was something that I hated the way many children hate. But in fifth, I went to Jnana Prabodhini, and
Hmm.
from that time onwards, I really started changing my perspective towards learning because one thing that my school always said was that you're coming here not to learn from us but to understand and learn how to learn on your own. And that was something that changed my perspective completely. And I think I'm holding on to that even now. And see, apart from the degrees, the entire journey is about learning, isn't it? It is an experience of life that you are inculcating, you're learning from it. And that change has, I think, enriched my knowledge. It has allowed me to continuously keep on getting degrees and some kind of certification or the other,
Wow.
and that's only because I enjoy the process. I simply enjoy the process.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to go through your thought process because as we learn, as we really take formal education in any topic or subject and spend that kind of a time, not only in the formal education, I am aware that you are, definitely putting yourself in astrology, the dimension of monoism. So those perspective are definitely going to be very, very interesting as we speak to you. And maybe just to start it rolling, I believe that you have your own viewpoint about Hatke. Uh, Conventionally, it is HATKE, where H for health, A for attitude, T for technology, E for engagement, right? K for knowledge. So how do you look at it? I'm just trying to get this rolling in a very abstract question, Shruti, for you.
Yeah, that's really interesting question because when we spoke about Hatke, and I've known about this activity that you're doing right from the times of pandemic, and it was really interesting the way you coined this term because these are different aspects that are very integral to life. And when you said that you will like to talk to me, it was a pleasure, and I started thinking what is Hatke for me. I mean, and my first thought was that the word hatke itself is hatke, and very very rooted in our language, in our own vocabulary, and not at all very official, not formal. It's something that brings in that fun aspect also, hatke.
Mm,
And then when I was thinking what will I want to talk about hatke, or how do I look at hatke, I
mm,
thought that everybody is trying to be hatke in their own way.
true.
So for me, I thought, everybody goes forward. Why can't we come back reverse? And coming back reverse is nothing a stunt or anything like that. But it started making more sense to me, you know, because what I thought is if you take HATKE in the reverse way, then you have EKTAH. Okay, so we start with engagements. And I thought that engagement is a very basic uh, thing that everybody does in life, right from the time you're born till you leave this earth, you are engaging in something or the other. It
Mm,
could be voluntary, involuntary, compulsory, by choice, or whatever. But
mm.
you are engaging in different things.
Right.
It could be about education, it could be about your
Mm,
hobbies, it could be about, the things that you need to do to live. It could be about your family, anything. But they are all engagements
mm,
and very basic. So when I was thinking, and as part of my PhD, I've also studied different texts in Indian context and Indian Vedanta philosophy, for example, or Darshana Shastra. And then I said that you have this concept of Pancha Kosha.
mm,
Uh, that is the concept which people talk about when you're talking about enlightenment, so to say.
mm,
And you have Annamaya Kosha, you have Pranamaya Kosha, you have Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and then Anandamaya Kosha. And you say that Anandamaya Kosha is the ultimate,
highest. Mm,
that is where you are actually merging into the enlightenment, and beyond that, there is no existence. So your engagements also, they follow on in these orders. So, you are trying, your first two engagements are always in the Annamaya and Pranamaya Kosha. You
mm,
breathe and breathe out. The minute you stop breathing, your existence, engagements on earth, for that time at least, are, they are stopped.
mm.
The same way, all your endeavors in your adult life, they are around Annamaya Kosha primarily. When I say Anna, it is about the food.
Basic
It is,
necessities. Yeah. Mm.
yes, and food not only for physical growth but also for mental growth.
Mental growth. Mhm.
Yeah, so it is something that enriches you. It is something that nourishes you, and you are trying to get nourishment, in all directions.
Mm.
So that is your engagement always. Whether you're taking degrees, whether you're a working professional, or you're doing a job somewhere, it is all about a part and parcel about Annamaya Kosha. Uh, and then you have mind, which is also very, what we say, a very chanchal entity. It keeps on guiding you in different ways. But beyond that, when you reach the knowledge, and that is the second level that you have in your Hatke concept after the engagement, the knowledge, that is the level where you actually start your journey with enlightenment, or maybe, and this is all my understanding. It's not necessary others will agree to it, but this is how I saw it.
Wonderful.
So you go to the knowledge aspect, and knowledge is elevated beyond the basics. It is elevated beyond your mind, and that is the true source which allows you to, evolve in life, become. Uh, it is something that propels your journey in life.
It basically
So
elevates you to that level where you start thinking globally. Mhm.
correct, yeah, and so from there you go towards technology, which is another point that you have in Hatke. And I believe that technology, the minute you say technology today, because, or thanks to the pandemic, we all think of going online, uh, connecting to the technology through mobiles and other devices,
Mm.
internet. That is what comes to our mind. But human evolution, if we see, it is all about technology. Even using the basic tools that the prehistoric man did, that was technology for that person.
Mm.
It is also the wheel, the so-called as benchmark in the industrial revolution, the
True.
wheel, that is technology. If you think about industrial revolution, so much of technology,
Mm.
and today technical advancements are almost always connected to the computers and the coding parts and things like that. So this is all about technology. But if you see what is technology, technology is about using physical, non-physical advantages
Mm.
to enhance your performances and your engagement. So it is always connecting to engagements, and it is always connected to the knowledge. because knowledge is what is also facilitating the technology.
Wow.
So in my life, I feel that, when we studied, there was no computer. We did everything by hand, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and and my field, which is field of visual communication, field of graphics, it is highly dependent on technology. The minute some change comes in the technology, your way of delivering the visual content immediately gets impacted. So you need to be connected to technology constantly. and it is not something which is something that you need to achieve. It is something that you need to flow with.
Mm.
You need to flow with it, and technology doesn't become a barricade. Then it becomes an accessory that you can use. So so that's how I was thinking about technology.
Mm.
And then technology is nothing but an attitude, we can say. And coming to the A within the hatke, it is attitude. Because your attitude is related to how you accept the technology. It is also related to how you go around knowledge,
Mm.
how you think about the engagements in day to day life and throughout your life. So holistically, every aspect is very interrelated to the other, and it facilitates the other aspect within the hatke.
Superb. Amazing.
And when you think of health, health,
It's
of
above all.
course, is dependent, completely dependent on your attitude, isn't it? Health is about mental health, and it is also about physical health.
Wonderful.
And it is only your attitude towards life, towards engagements, towards knowledge, towards technology that propels your health, or that defines your health, I will say.
Wonderful. I think, I never thought that anybody can interpret Hatke in such a kind of a philosophical or spiritual way. And that takes me to the level where another similar kind of theory that is existing in HR context called as Maslow's pyramid.
Yes.
If there is a physiological needs, safety needs, love, and then esteem and self-actualization, it's indeed a degree of spiritualism mapped to managers' view of how employees should be. Likewise, I believe in your own way, you have got this HATKE in the way that engagement is the basic, then you have knowledge which actually resides above it, where you have technology is an enabler application. Attitude comes only when you have that kind of a mindset and physical set, and health is above all. I think that is the way that individual evolves. Amazing, amazing perspective. On Hatke as a concept. Definitely, I would acknowledge this whenever it becomes public as your perspective. Now, I was just looking at various degrees. I must read them out. GD Arts, Commercial Arts, MA Drawing and Painting, Diploma in Art Education, BFA, MFA, Net Visual Arts, and PhD in Visual Arts. And also, the PhD, I believe, is called as in visual art, but it has got some deep-rooted topic within it. Maybe you can enlighten us a little bit more on that.
Yes. So all these certifications and degrees I have taken as part of enhancing my knowledge. But when it came to PhD, what helped me was my masters, which I have two masters,
Mm.
double masters. One master is in painting, drawing and painting, and the other is in applied arts. So one goes towards the design and functionality and usability and all those design concepts, and the one goes towards aesthetics because it's about painting. Uh, so my PhD stands on both these pillars, is what I feel. And the minute you talk about aesthetics, there is bound to be entry of philosophy. There is going to be entry of psychology, because what I feel is, any work of art, although it is physical and you can perceive it through your senses, the meaning always happens at a higher level.
Mm.
And there is no physicality to your thoughts and your feelings. We call them sukshma, correct, in Sanskrit. That is sukshma, which means it is subtle. The It is physical, but it is subtle. So um, when I was doing my PhD, I have kind of worked on a different way in which you can approach aesthetics, a different definition of what art can be in
Mm.
today's contemporary times and how you can look at it. And as part of that, I have actually gone through a lot of Western as well as a lot of Indian um, texts.
Mm-hmm.
And while doing that, what struck me most is that, the Darshana Shastra that we have, the Nyaya philosophy, Sankhya philosophy, and other philosophies, which talk about different pramana for which are the benchmarks for understanding knowledge in a way. And also, I got into things like Advaita philosophy, which is become. I mean, I have completely got aligned to that thought. And when you were talking about, how in management, different levels can be borrowed from a certain philosophy. What I feel is Advaita is nothing to do with gods or goddesses or something like that, or religion or something. Advaita is basically about being able to see oneness in different things.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute you start seeing oneness in different things, what happens is you can borrow from them in any of the field, you know, because it is diversity and unity together.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what fascinates me, sorry. And that is what really makes me think in different directions, because Advaita is not about a philosophy that can be just thought of or meditated upon
Wonderful.
without any physical existence. It is about our engagements and how you can relate it to the engagements, to the knowledge, to the technology,
Wow.
and our attitude. It is an attitude. That's what I will say.
But I can, based on whatever brief conversation that we had, based on my understanding, it is indeed sounds like a straight application of something coming from Vedanta concepts, mapping them back onto the modern thought process of architecture, and it will be really
Definitely.
insightful to really know more about that in a separate session. We'll definitely.
Yes, yes, we'll love to do that.
Right.
Definitely.
And as you were talking about, now pandemic has given some twists
Yes.
to minds, physicalities, constraints. But I think we were talking about something called as monoism, of looking at same thing only as one, and the concept of "हे विश्वसी माझे घर." So maybe we would like to definitely hear that, because that gives a very important perspective of how one should look at the surroundings. If at all we have to call it as challenging, how to enable it, if we say that okay, fine, everything is for me only. So
Hmm.
maybe your perspective on this.
Yes. So I do listen to a lot of people, but I will like to quote Sadhguru here, who talks about, a lot of spiritual things in terms of where contemporary people can understand. And he has coined this term called inner engineering.
Inner
Engineering.
inner engineering, yes.
Yeah. So immediately, all the engineers will connect to it
Connect.
automatically. And engineering being the mainstream concept, in fact, those who are not even engineers, they also connect to it.
Mm,
And what I want to say is that this concept of analogies, bringing analogies while we are thinking of different things is itself is based on monoism, because if you can see different things as one and one thing as different,
mm,
then the analogies start coming up, popping up,
mm, mm, mm,
isn't it? So that's where even Hatke, I could connect to it in a different way, in my own way, because I thought that, you call it engagement, knowledge, technology, attitude, health, but isn't it one part of a human being? I mean, one human being doesn't have eye function in a very different way and hand another. It is altogether one thing. It is one human. The same way, all these concepts that we try to ponder upon, if we start looking at the connections that they have to each other, that is very, very important. And that is also applicable. For example, all these degrees that I have taken in different, for example, learning astrology versus learning hypnotherapy, for example, versus learning art theories and understanding art versus learning design. Now, people may not be able to draw the parallels, but I can simply see the parallels within this because I'm studying these things. And once you start studying, you automatically see the similarities, correct? And same thing in life is what I feel. You know, whether it is humans, we think that humans are different than animals. Animals are different than vegetation. You know, I feel that it is our distinction, capacity to distinction, which has gone extreme, where we have cut off things and we say that humans are really different than any other animals. And you know, because every animal comes on this earth with a set of qualities, with a set of their own capabilities. For example,
Mm.
bats will be able to communicate through the ultraviolet or whatever ultrasound waves, correct?
Ultrasound, yeah.
We are incapable, so they should be calling us dumb, isn't it? Or, for example, a dog, a very beagle kind of a breed, they can smell one piece of biscuit, small biscuit, say 100 feet apart, and they move towards that. So they have such a strong sense of smell,
Mm.
and we are blunt, completely blunt in that.
Mm.
But if we have to understand all these things, then we really need to be empathetic. And in design, you know that empathy is a big word, isn't it?
Mm. Mm.
And so is in psychology, so is in our daily lives, is what I feel. And if we can start becoming more and more empathetic, then the spiritual journey, or when I say spiritual, I'm not going towards very mystic thing, okay? I'm just saying it a
Correct.
feeling where you go towards your own joy. You know, you start enjoying life.
Mm.
That will happen.
It's basically giving meaning, your own meaning, and that takes a good amount of thinking and also learning before you map anything that you see around, and you start seeing it to be one. I mean, that's an amazing thing, where we call the humans as a part of this whole nature. I was just thinking loud when I thought pandemic has come as a pralay, as a devastation, and that is only hitting humans. We are not supposed to go out as humans, but other animals, the rivers are flowing, the air is going, the animals are roaming around, the trees are around there, everything is just running as it is. So I think it takes a perspective to look at the situation in that way. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is worth thinking. What I feel is the magnitude to which you have distracted yourself and gone out of alignment. In the same magnitude, it is hitting us back.
Mm,
So
mm, mm.
humans have not been aligned to nature for a long time. We know that, and now it is hitting us back. Uh, that's what. But see, I know that there are many people who have suffered great losses. I agree with that. But at the same time, look at the benefits that this pandemic has brought in. I mean, for me, I will say that a nuclear family with everybody doing their own things constantly from morning to night, really we don't have time for each other, you know, when we are in our daily lives. But pandemic forced us to be in one house, you know, morning to night, and that was such a joy, isn't it? We could do so many things that are going to be part of our memories. A lot of people could do that, and that is also something that you should look at. There are so many things you are forced to do because you can't do something that you were doing. And that force, if you don't look at it as a struggle but you look at it as an exploration, then it is opening out so many different paths for you. So I feel that, you know, in life we shouldn't call struggles as a terminology for anything. We should be calling it an exploration, and that way it becomes easy to deal with the difficulties that you come across and find new paths with the same zeal and zest.
Wonderful. I think that gives a meaning of how one has a love about, say, animals or the nature. When I've seen you getting disturbed about trees getting cut, or you yourself loving your dogs and cats so much, or bringing that to the level of human beings, your social initiatives, having your own daughters, and somebody from some other country like Serbia, Katrina getting adopted by you. So maybe you can throw some light on those dimensions, because those are definitely, I believe, getting its roots from the thought process that you have.
Okay, so I will say that, though it may not seem like that because we are all busy, but I feel that my house is always open to everybody. And that is not because of me, it is also because of my husband, Sunil, and our daughter. So it is a family thing. So our house is always open for anybody. And what I will say is, Katrina was an exchange student. So she came to us and stayed with us for a year, and she became my daughter. And I became her mother, Indian mother. So that was a great pleasure. And I feel that many people, I'm asking a lot of people, will you like to host somebody? And I see a lot of resistance, in people, how to manage. And the reasons are varied, how to manage one girl coming in your house. What if this
Mm,
happens? What if
mm,
that happens?
mm,
What I feel is, if it's a very simple thing. I mean, you don't need to do much. You just need to make them a family member, and everybody gets adjusted. So that is one aspect. The another aspect that I would like to share here, it is a learning from my mother. I will say I have to talk about my mother, if you
mm,
allow me, because my mother was a doctor, homeopath, and also a businesswoman, and she was also an avid social worker. She never took credit for all her work, but she did tremendous work.
mm,
People will be surprised. We are four sisters, first of all.
mm,
And in those times, having four sisters itself was something that was different. Hatke, four
mm,
sisters, no brother. Oh my God.
mm,
And then it also gave us a hatke upbringing, is what I feel. Because, if you have to go out in the midnight at 2 o'clock for some kind of emergency in the house for health or any other reason, you go out. I mean, you don't think, is there a male member in the house?
mm.
That is not a question. And so it gives you a different hatke upbringing. And having his sister, I mean, my mother having four daughters, she adopted a child when I think I was in junior KG or something like that. That girl was around 8 years old when she came to our house. She became our sister. She
Again a
stayed
girl,
with us.
again a girl,
A
again.
fifth one, a fifth one.
Mm,
Okay. My mother educated her. I mean, she took efforts to get her admitted in Maharashtra Mandal Dagdushet Kataria School, a very renowned school at that point of time. She gave her education for a couple of years and got her to finish her 10th, gave her higher education, not in conventional sense, but a degree and a diploma in stitching and things like that, and married her. After that, she adopted another child, and that was the point when, around the point when, I got married after a couple of years after she was second child was adopted.
mm,
The same way, she was completely malnutrition child, a lot of issues with her health. And but my mother, being a doctor, homeopath, she did her medication, she did her uh, nourishing on physical, on emotional level. That girl also got uh, educated till 10th. She
mm.
also was completely married by my mother. And all both my sisters, they are still in touch with us. And not only them, their families have become our families.
True.
So I mean, when my daughter had a child, she was looking for some support, and a girl came from village, and she was tiny 9-year-old girl. And looking at her, my sister said, "No way, she's a child. I cannot have her as an employed person." You
Ah,
know.
ah,
So, and my daughter was that point 5 years old. So my mother said, "Why don't you keep her and raise her?" So, I had my mother's legacy. So she stayed with us
right.
at from 9 years till she became 17 years old. She was with us, and people didn't even know that she was not my daughter or not related to us. A lot of people thought that she was related to us, who knew that we had only one child, and others thought she was my second child.
Mm,
And Of course, this doesn't happen by me. This is me and my husband Sunil. The way we are, I think it became very much easily possible. And I don't think you need to do much. Raising one child, it's not much of economical burden. It is not really. It is not. And I think if everybody starts doing these kind of things, it's so easy. Uh, of course, having Katrina was a great pleasure because it was a culmination of two cultures.
Of
We
course.
got to know a lot about her festivals. And we are in touch now. We celebrate each other's festivals, and that's fun.
Amazing. It reflects on the true implementation or application of oneness, being one. We call it as Vishwachi Maze Ghara in Marathi. So, in true sense, it is easier said than done. I would like to give it to you and Sunil, your husband, and hats off to even your mother to have instigated and inculcated those principles by doing it.
Yes.
And then gets me to the perspective of asking you this. So the pandemic, the challenge, I have seen you always positive, smiling, full of energy, your love for music, your love for giving. uh, so is that the crux of or secret juice of what you want to say to the people, that because you're saying it is simple, it is not simple. I mean, it is said by you, because it is said by you, it is simple. How do you want to respond to this?
I'll say that as we start realizing that all our limitations are our perceptions, then things become very easy. Time is also perception, you know,
Mm,
and all these social boundings that we so-called say are bindings, they are also perceptions. If you don't think of them as limitations, then you can do so much, uh, and it is up to you what you want to do. So while studying, you can do a full-time job. At the same time, you can cultivate your hobbies. You can be a part of your family. You can cook for your family. All those things you can do if you just change the perceptions. Is a very simple. If you just do that much, I think it is easy.
Wonderful. I think I'll give it to the viewers and listeners, that try this change in perception. It is indeed something as a major transformation. But let's give it as challenge. Um, coming to circling back and kind of a closure. So, do you have anything that you have an aspiration? Uh, I want to do this. I want to be this in the part that is in front of you, apart from what you have already done so far, Shruti.
I think that what I really want to do is feel blissful in any of the situations that I have in future, because situations will vary. You will have ups and downs. Nobody can have a linear path. It is always going to be a wave. And what I feel is, if I really want to be happy in all my future, if I can do that, I think that is achievement for me. That's my
Wonderful,
goal.
wonderful, wonderful. I think we should take it back and definitely look at that dimension. I believe you have some message that you want to read out, your own viewpoint at the end, right?
Yes, I thought that, I write sometimes,
Hmm.
though I have never published anything, I keep on writing something or the
Hmm.
other. So maybe I will like to
Please,
read one of my poems.
please.
It goes with our discussion today. So maybe we can call it, the title could be Magic, but everybody who is listening has, uh, you please make your own titles and please make your own meanings out of this. Uh, it goes like this: Let the magic brew, let the magic brew some enchanted spells and bring us bliss from the celestial worlds.
Wow.
May the bright sun hold a whimsical promise to bring us together in delightful times to come.
Mm-hmm.
And a touch of gold grow with glowing smile, add some zest in the life, O nature, with your gentle touch.
Wow.
Uh, may it happen in real. It need not happen always in real. So may it happen in real, or even in a dream surreal.
Okay.
May it happen in real, or even in a dream surreal. An incidents, although queer, to heal my heart and soul in real.
Wow. Wonderful. I think it's amazing way to get to that level of. I would call this as a call. I would call it as a hope at the end of the tunnel. I would call it as a positivity as a dimension, and calling it on yourself, though things might a realism in the sense where if it might happen, it might not happen in the reality. But if at all it is in the dreams also, I'm blessed. So wonderful time and insights today, Shruti ji. Amazing to have you on this platform. Amazing.
Thank you, Shirish ji, for listening to my chatter and allowing me to express myself. Such a pleasure and honor, both. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. You have just been humble, and so our wishes, positive wishes, definitely are with you for all the endeavors that you take up in the space of, say, be architecture, astrology, sociology, social work that you're doing, the music that you are pursuing, and definitely we'll see you. And I would like to see you as a north star, so shining somewhere
Yeah.
where you are.
On the immediate nearby goals, MIT WPU School of Fine Arts. I really want to bring it to the top now and do whatever I can. I want to continue my engagements with design deliverables that I offer to people, and enjoy my music and enjoy my writing. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful interacting with you, and thanks a lot again. And we can close here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
बिजनेस कोई भी हो, सक्सेस की नींव हम रखते हैं।
बुलंदियों को छूने की आपके अरमानों की उम्मीद जगाती जोत है, हर सपनों का हम स्रोत है।
सही स्ट्रेटेजी, परफेक्ट डिसीजन मेकिंग और बिजनेस ग्रोथ के लिए हम आपके साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर आपकी स्वप्न पूर्ति करते हैं। स्त्रोत कंसल्टेक, सिनर्जाइजिंग ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन।